Oh. Testing 1, 2. How's that sounding? All right, here I go. I'd say it's my first Steam game that I've played, but I do have Tanglewood, but I didn't play that to completion. I wanted to record it, but I didn't have the right software. And this isn't even working the best now, if I'm being honest. I'm Steam streaming and I can't record, so I've just got to grab the file that outputs from Twitch. So anyway, enough of that ramble. I'm going to try and play this, feeling a bit dizzy. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes, but I've been wanting to start this for days upon days, and I just haven't gamed properly apart from Pokemon Go. So let's begin a new game and see what all this is about. Oh, don't make me go to a keyboard. I don't have a keyboard here. Oh, I don't want to have to do things with keyboards. I've only got the mouse hooked up. Hold on. I guess I really should play this straight to my laptop, but I like having the TV in front of me. I do. Lots of chicken. So is the rest of its mouse base. That'll be great. You sleep softly as the morning sun casts a warm glow through the window of your modest student apartment. The world is peaceful and serene. You could stay in the moment forever. Or you could wake up now. Your first day of culinary school is no time to sleep in. Throw the clock out the window and stay in bed forever. You slept through the school year and gave up on the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet Colonel Sanders. Game over. Already, you might not be cut out for this. Is that one of the possible endings? I'd say so. Nah, let's give it another go. Alright, we've read this. Lying in bed, you stare at the ceiling, thinking about everything that awaits you at the prestigious University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning. Your mind begins to wander. Who will be there? What will you cook? What should you wear? Time begins to fly by and you find your imagination getting away from you. Let's think about the future. It's here, finally, your first day of culinary school. So many dishes to prepare, so many students to meet. Your mind is swimming with the possibilities when you realize you're running late. You grab a biscuit and burst out the door in a hurry. Delicious. Just what you needed to wake up those taste buds. Yikes, you're in such a hurry, in fact, that you forgot to put on any deodorant before running out the door. You're sweating buckets as you rush to arrive on time. Uh-oh. Standing in the quad, you gaze upon the magnificent University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning. Here comes your lifelong best friend forever, Miriam. She's the most adorably awkward person you've ever met, and you absolutely love her for it. Good morning, Chris. Are you excited for the first day of the rest of our lives? Actually, I'm... Because I sure am. Excited, a little nervous. Okay, a lot nervous. What's the... It's just that this morning I made breakfast for myself, but when I ate it, I couldn't taste any love in the food. What if I'm no good? What if I fail? Classic Miriam, raised by the master chef parents, she's always held herself to a very high standard. Ever since we were little babies playing together and you rescued me from that quicksand box, it's been clear to me that you're the most loving, caring person I know. You're going to do great. But with the University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning's famous 3-day only semesters, I'm afraid of being left behind and never catching up. A sweet girl Miriam has always had a flair for the dramatic. This summer she got so nervous about her first kiss that she chipped a tooth practicing on a mannequin. Should you pep talk her or change the subject to give her some relief? Alright, let's talk school gossip. It's hard to see Miriam like this and, frankly, quite exhausting. Rather than dwell on her anxiety, you try and change the subject for something more interesting. All of summer you've been hearing rumours about a dreamy, enigmatic mystery student who's enrolled at this school. Why do I feel like it's going to be Colonel Sanders? Anyway. Yeah, that's a little worrisome, but you'll be fine. Now, what about this mystery student we read about on the school message board? Any new deets? Oh, get this. I heard his name is Harlan, and he's no ordinary student. They say he has powers. He's had them ever since he was born, from an egg. An egg? Like a chicken? Don't be ridiculous. But that thing about having powers, it would line up with some of the other rumours I've heard. Like, I heard he once fought a bear with just his smile. You both sigh thinking about a student so handsome that the laws of physics don't dare apply to him. Dreamy. Before you can get another word out, you're rudely interrupted when someone smacks your books and custom-engraved measuring spoons out of your hands and onto the ground. Hey! It's Ashley, or Ashley, I don't know how I'm going to pronounce it, your arch rival. She's totally evil, but you can't help but you feel with jealousy. She can get anything she wants and she knows it. Hello, Ashley. Oh, I didn't see you there, chicken shins. You leave Chris's shins alone. They are perfectly normal shins. Thank you. You can't stand Ashley. Even her name is annoying. You know for a fact that it's actually Ashley, there you go. But she had to add extra letters to make herself feel better than everyone. If anyone here knows what perfect shins look like, it's us. We're not going to let you or your really weird insults get to us. Across the quad, you see Ashley's best friend, Van the Man, has stopped to look at his own reflection in the mirror. His pants are so tight you can see him casually working out his glutes, more like, while he styles his hair. No lie, they're rocking glutes. Van? You rang? You've never been sure what their arrangement is, but as long as you've known them, Ashley and Van have been just as close as you and Miriam, but substantially more devious. I can't believe that University of Cooking School Academy for Learning would ever allow people like you to attend as students. I know, right? You'd think they'd just hand us our diplomas now. Or maybe hire us as professors. You amateurs could learn a lot from us. With the first day of school about to start, there's just not time to properly tell these two off, so you resist the urge. Let's go, Miriam. Psh, see you later, losers. As you approach the door, you see a goofy-looking kid pushing hard against the window directly next to it. His name's Pop, and I think he just farted. Oopsie. I think it's broken. You reach forward and easily pull the door open. That should do the trick. I love you. I think you mean thank you? My name is Pop. I was named after my Pop. He is old. Could someone like this also be a student at the school? He must be one heck of a chef. Also, his name tag clearly says Bob, but I guess he's reading it upside down. Hi Pop, I'm Chris. So, are you going to make me hold the store all day? Nope. And with that, the young man walks into the building ahead of you. Is it just me, or is he kinda cute? I think it's just you. You both shrug your shoulders before following him into the building. You stand at the edge of the room, unsure where to sit. Other students wander in and keep themselves busy chit-chatting. A scruffy-looking pooch takes his place at the podium at the front of the class. Adorable! Now, quiet down, everyone. Who is this unreasonably cute pup and why is he in our culinary class? You must be Sprinkles, head instructor and CEO of UCS AL. Please call me Professor Dog. I may be cute and little and fluffy, but I still demand respect. Woof. What? A cute dog is our professor? This is the best school ever. I guess only a dog's nose is capable of picking up all the nuances of fine dining. Out of nowhere, wind begins to rush around you as a swell of cherry blossom petals fill the air inside the classroom. I'm chilly, someone close the window. And then, he walks in. You're immediately swept up in the awe of this new student and his remarkable goatee. Who knew anyone could be so handsome? Time stands still. It's him. If it isn't my favourite student, Harland. Colonel Sanders interrupts. Sprinkles, sorry, Professor Dog, before he could finish his sentence. Please, call me Colonel. Colonel Sanders. A hushed murmur rolls through the classroom as Colonel Sanders walks down the aisle of desks. Suddenly, the room is sweltering. Sweat begins to bead across your brow. You feel like everyone is looking at you, and you're not entirely wrong. And this over here must be Sweaty Sweats a lot. Maybe we should open that window back up before Faucet Pits melts into a puddle and evaporates entirely. You two both know my name. We were in the same kindergarten class, and what is with all your really weird insults? Okay. I get to click something now, but it's only your turn to find Colonel Sanders standing right in front of you. Colonel Sanders, beautiful angel that he is, stands before you, smiling gently, his hand outstretched. Boy, howdy, this classroom gets hotter than a Kentucky fryer. Please, use my handkerchief. You freeze up. Colonel Sanders is talking to you. Wait, Colonel Sanders is talking to you about how sweaty you look. You're completely mortified. This can't be your first interaction. What if he never forgets this moment? How will you respond? Yeah, refuse it. You feel horrified that your first interaction with Colonel Sanders is centered around the fact that you're a sweaty mess. No thanks, this is actually on purpose. It's an old family secret to keeping our skin soft and healthy. You wave his hand away and quickly wipe your face with your apron instead. Professor Dog steps in to settle the class down and set some ground rules. Welcome to the University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning, the greatest culinary academy in the world. Birthplace of culinary legends past, present and future. Many challenges await you. There will be tears, there will be blood, there might even be really adorable tiny food. And when all is said and done, there will be a battle. You will lift your sports and compete in the broom cooking arena. Just then, another student enters the classroom and interrupts the professor's rousing speech. Hi guys, sorry I'm late. I hope everyone has had a good summer. I really miss... Quiet! Late to class is bad enough, but interrupting my monologue? You're on the fast track out of here, young man. Are you sure you're even in the right place? Don't you recognize me? This is my third year in this school with you as my teacher. Everyone stares at him blankly. Does no one remember me? You're expelled if you utter one more word before I finish. Let that be a lesson to you students, that tardiness is unacceptable. Well, considering I was a little bit late before. Even Clank made it here on time, rolling halfway across town on his tiny wheels. You turn to see the student Sprinkles is referencing, who appears to be some sort of industrial kitchen appliance. Just made the noise for me. The class bursts into laughter. Oh, Clank, you rascal. Sprinkles walks in the classroom as everyone stands in silent obedience. When he gets to you, he lifts his nose into the air and takes a deep sniff. Your diet is lacking. Based on what I'm picking up here, you definitely need a multivitamin. You should be taking better care of yourself. You've never had a talking dog as a teacher before, but Sprinkles' reputation for being smart but tough is well known. You decide to try and butter him up by giving him a treat from your pocket, but what kind? Let's give him a beef treat. You know where this is leading. You reach beneath your apron and return with a small bit of beef jerky in your hand. Sprinkles' eyes go wide as he locks onto it. Beef, are you trying to give me a heart attack? I would never eat that. You clearly do not belong here. Please remove your apron, and then remove yourself from this class and this school. Seems you've reached the end of the line, Chef. The proverbial game over. Try again. Obviously, you meant to give him the chicken snack. But, where's the fun in that? And the next one I give him is not going to be the chicken snack. Let's see what it does. Alright, we've been through all this. Alright, this time I'm going to take it. You stretch out your hand, and Colonel Sanders places a fine silk handkerchief in it. It's so beautiful, you hesitate to press it to your face. When you do, the feeling of transcendent, it has its natural scent on it. It smells of the most delicious chicken you've ever smelled. Professor Dog steps in to settle the class down and set some ground rules. Welcome to University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning, the greatest culinary academy in the world. The birthplace of culinary legends past, present and future. Many challenges await you. There will be tears, there will be blood, there might even be really adorable tiny food. Alright, so we've seen this bit. Let's get through it. And this time we're going to give him a rubber ball. You reach beneath your apron and return with a rubber ball in your hand. Sprinkle's eyes go wide as he locks onto it. You toss the ball and he bounds after it, grabbing it in his mouth and swinging it from side to side before dropping it. The thrill passes quickly. It's not clear if that endeared you to him or not. Settle down, young chefs. Take your seats and prepare to have your minds open to the amazing possibilities of culinary creation. As everyone rushes to claim their favourite seats, you're left standing at the front of the room. Only 2 options remain. Hey Chris, there's still a seat here. It seems that no one has claimed the seat next to me. If you're interested... 2 good options, but which will you choose? Friends come first. You move to take your seat by Miriam. I'm so glad to have you near me to support me through this class. Of course, you're my best friend. Who else would I sit by? Colonel Sanders, he has such a magnetic personality, and there's a seat open right next to him. If you had sat there, you might have gotten to know him a little better. I'd never sacrifice our friendship. Besides, I'm sure I'll get a chance to talk to him later in the semester. I've got 3 whole days. That's like a lifetime. So you say, but now that Miriam mentions it, that Colonel Sanders is just so darn dreamy. As soon as you've settled into your seat, the professor makes an announcement. Think fast, it's time for a pop quiz. Yay, a quiz about me. This incredibly important and surprising short quiz will tell me if you're ready for life at a culinary school. Keep your knife sharp and your focus sharper. Here comes question number 1. If train A is travelling at to point B and train B is travelling to point A, how important is it to wash your hands before cooking? And it doesn't matter at all. That's wrong. Forest is to a tree as chicken is to night vision goggles. That's wrong. What is the most efficient eating utensil ever created? A meat tenderizer. That's wrong. What food is best for a broken heart? Camel meat. That's wrong. Is Sprinkles a good boy? Nah. That's wrong. He is nothing but the best. Your total score is 0 out of 5. Fail. If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the dating simulator. Alright, let's try again. Purposely failed that test. I really did purposely fail that test. I should get the answers right next time, shouldn't I? Alright, so let's go through all this again. Yes. Refuse it this time. Duty says to a chicken snack. You reach beneath your apron and return with the chicken snack in your hand. Sprinkle's eyes go wide as he locks onto it. His favourite! Well, I think there might be some competition for new star student. The furry professor immediately devours the snack, leaving your hands slick with a coating of warm doggy drool. You see the other students eyeing you jealously, but pay no mind to them. If they wanted to succeed in life, they should have learned the importance of carrying a range of dog treat flavors on them at all times. Settle down. Alright, we've done that. Sit by the best friend again. Alright. Extremely important to wash your hands, always. It's got nothing to do with the train. Chicken is to a feather. That's right. A spork. Chicken as anything, as long as it's prepared with love and not too much salt. Yes. He's the best boy. 5 out of 5. Yeah, possibly. You look up, Colonel Sanders has been watching you tally your score. He's impressed. I know we just met, but I have to confess, I think you have a beautiful brain. Hot diggity, Chris, you just scored some major Colonel Sanders points with that performance. May I have your attention, students? I have an important announcement to make. Time for lunch. Wow, the cafeteria is as nice as any restaurant you've ever eaten at. It makes sense that a school dedicated to cooking would also be serious about eating. A delicious fragrance wafts through the room and tickles at the end of your nose. Your mouth waters. Do you smell that? This must be our lunch. It smells crazy good. Everyone, can I have your attention? Is it about lunch? No, I just wanted to apologize for my tardiness. You see, Howdy folks, I'd like to make an announcement. Hey, It's about lunch. Everyone cheers. But Shh. Lunch. She said, shh. Alright, now my daughter's in here, let's get back to it. In honor of the new semester, I have prepared something special to share with everyone for lunch. That must be the smell I smelled. Indeed, that smell. You hold your breath, waiting to see what food this mysterious student has created. You've heard that he's very talented, but were the rumors true? Is this? Colonel Sanders lifts a large bucket above his head. Its contents glimmer in the light. Piled high are huge pieces of chicken, breaded and fried to a crispy golden finish. The aroma envelops you, and you begin to feel warm and safe. Colonel Sanders has filled a bucket with chicken. What a novel concept. Your stomach begins to grumble as if to say, stop thinking and start eating. For years, I have been developing a secret recipe for the perfect fried chicken. But my calculation, nothing less than 11 herbs and spices are required to achieve the perfect balance of flavors. You look around and notice that every other student has a pen and paper and is scribbling notes as fast as they can. But that's all to say about that. What? You think we want your stupid secret recipe, dude? Nah, my dude, nah. I'm just drafting a last will and testament in case one of those ingredients is poison. Got him. He looks around nervously to see if anyone else is laughing at his sick burn. You wait to see what zinger. Ashley has prepared to follow up, but she suddenly takes a different approach. Yeah, and I was just like writing in my diary. Dear diary, today I smelled something beautiful. I knew at that moment that only the hands of a true gentleman could fry chicken so tender. You see her body language change from bitter to evil and sweet and innocent as she slides closer to Colonel Sanders. She realizes that he is destined for greatness and fame with cooking skills like this. She wants him all to herself. Oh, please. Well, Van, the man, if you don't want any, I'll take his. Whoa, hold on. I mean, I guess I'll try it. He takes one bite and his eyes grow wide. He starts contorting his face as he tries to hold in his pure exhilaration and act unimpressed. Easy now, there is enough for everyone. Please, my fellow classmates, dig in. You take one piece of the fried chicken out of this bucket and sink your teeth into it. It's amazing. Tasting Colonel Sanders' food transports you to another dimension. Alone with your taste buds, gripping a drumstick in your hand, you float weightlessly. Alright. Try to identify every flavor. You let the food rest in your mouth and focus on it, scrutinizing every flavor. Salt, maybe? Pepper? Too obvious. Oregano? Basil? Maybe, but there's something else. Something dark, something spicy. You dig deeper, deeper, deeper. Yes, even deeper still, until you find it. Could it be... They blended out. He really did it. How bold, how adventurous to use. You tried to go even deeper into the sea of flavors, but this revelation alone is more than you can handle. You snap out of it and realize that this information was meant to remain a secret, and yet, now you know. A mantle of responsibility now rests upon your shoulders. As you look around, you realize that everyone in the room is consumed by the lunch. No one noticed that you've traveled through space and time. After tasting his food, you try and get some one-on-one time with Colonel Sanders. You approach Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders smiles ever so softly as you approach. He stops what he is doing and allows you to break the silence. Colonel, I wondered if I could talk to you for a second. Anything for a fellow chef. What exactly was on that chicken? Ha ha ha, how bold to come out and ask. It's an idea I had for a new combination of flavors that will make me my fortune and establish my legacy for all time as I open a chain of highly successful fried chicken restaurants. No big deal. It's just you and me here talking. I can keep a secret. In fact, I've got some of my own that I'd be willing to trade. What's the rush? The semester is only getting started. We've got 2 more whole days to get to know each other. He's clearly not going to give up easily, but it doesn't hurt to be persistent. You know what they say about secrets, Colonel? Shouldn't learning be fun?
Aww.
You've got moxie, I'll give you that. Colonel Sanders looks both ways to make sure you're truly alone, and then leans in. You can feel his warm breath as he whispers. Just one ingredient, but you can't tell. It's something my great-grandmother taught me. Wow, you'd never have guessed that. In fact, you're not even sure where you get some if you searched. And definitely isn't the flavor you tasted before, so now you're 2 ingredients closer to knowing the full recipe, but you don't tell Colonel Sanders that. While you're wrapped up in that huge revelation, you notice that Colonel Sanders has disappeared. While everyone else is still in the cafeteria, you decide to look for him. You find Colonel Sanders outside, standing in the quad. Oh, it's you again. Howdy. Sometimes I like to come outside and look at the school buildings. I think about how my story will continue after I've graduated. It sounds like you have big plans. I dare say the biggest. I'll leave my mark on this world. You can bet on that. Alone together for the first time, you figure now is the perfect moment to show your personality to him. Alright, show him your own strength. You know, I've been thinking about your secret recipe. Of course you were. You don't simply forget a flavor combination like that. That's exactly right. I remember it because I've tasted it before. I stopped at a random fried chicken stand the other day, and that chicken tasted exactly like yours. Did you just compare my recipe to a random fried chicken stand? Well, yes, I did, but it was really good stand, especially considering it was frozen first. Frozen chicken? Colonel Sanders struggles to conceal his emotions, fighting back tears of anger. I can't believe you'd say such a thing. You realise you've done irreparable damage to your relationship, from which it can never recover. He's hurt. How could you? Hey Chris, you saw this game was called a dating sim, right? If that's your idea of dating, this is not the game for you. Have to try again. Yeah. What? What are you talking about? What's this? Alright, that's right. We'll skip to the question. Wow, him with a big idea to add an additional ingredient to really spice things up. You know about that? I was thinking about your secret recipe. I don't doubt it. It has a way of leaving an impression on all who taste it. You decide to show him that you also know a thing or two about blowing minds with new flavors. I actually had some thoughts on how you could improve it. Improve it? You want to change my secret recipe, and you think you can do better? Have you ever heard of habanero peppers? Heard of them? I tend to an entire garden of chili pepper varieties. Habanero, poblano, cayenne, but that's not the point. You can't just toss new ingredients into my secret recipe and expect to improve it. The recipe is about balance. It involves careful consideration and refinement. I didn't mean to. Let this be the last time you improvise on my recipes, Chris. I'm headed back to class for the next lesson. That certainly didn't go as planned. You better head back inside, but you wait a moment so that Colonel Sanders doesn't think you're desperately chasing after him. You step into the massive cooking arena where the afternoon lesson will take place. Each student gets an oven and all the tools and ingredients they could need. Look at this place. It's magnificent. Finally, we get to show our stuff. Wait a second. Oh no, we have to show our stuff. What if I totally blow it? You're not going to blow anything, except maybe kisses to the crowd of fans you're going to earn with your signature adorable tiny food creations. Welcome, students, to the cooking arena. For today's lesson, we'll be cooking with partners. Hurry up and pair off. Naturally, Miriam looks over at you, but unable to control yourself, you pounce on Colonel Sanders. Hey Colonel, would you like to tackle this lesson as a team? A team of two, that is. Me and you, if that wasn't clear. Want to be my partner?
Aww.
Sure, Chris. I'll prepare our station. Without you as a partner, Miriam is left standing all alone. Two different students quickly take notice. Hello, new partner. Beep, beep, bzzz. Oh my, two potential partners. I'm so sorry, gentlemen, but I don't know who to choose. It looks like you'll have to pick for her. Friend duties can be a little awkward, but that's the price you pay for not being alone forever. Who do you want to ask to be Miriam's partner? Pop first. Sorry, Clank, but I think Miriam will be partnering with Pop today. Pop gives a big smile as he steps up to the same station as Miriam. I'm a chef! He holds up a banana and, without peeling it, proudly eats the entire thing. It's disconcerting, but Miriam is too kind to act gross out. I love your enthusiasm, Pop. She looks at you like, really, this kid? But it's too late to change your choice now. Now it's time to focus on your own cooking classwork. Alright, you two, for today's lesson, we're going to keep it simple. Pick a basic dish and divide up the steps. No chef is an island. It takes 2 flints to make a fire. You get the idea. Which dish do you suggest to your partner, Colonel Sanders? Alright, steak tartare, using octopus and your grandmother's mashed potatoes and gravy. I had a delicious steak tartare once at an incredibly fancy restaurant. It was simple but sophisticated. Maybe we could make that? Beef? Raw beef? With seasoning and egg yolk on top? Chris, I must admit, I am disgusted right now. Consider our partnership ended. Chris, where is your partner? I suggest we prepare steak tartare and raw beef? Pack your things. Your time at University of Cooking School Academy for Learning is over. Try again. Alright. Be modest, but thoughtful. Well, I just wanted to tell you that I really enjoyed your food. Now you've got his attention. The flavors were complex but comforting. The interplay between salty, savory, and peppery. It was perfect. I appreciate the compliment, Chris. I'm sure you'll be a big success. I know, we've only met today, but I'm starting to get the same feeling about you. We should head back inside. The next lesson starts soon. You step into the massive cooking arena, where the afternoon lesson will take place. Alright, we've been through this. Alright, let's choose Pop again. And skip through this. Using Octopus will blow Colonel Sanders' mind. I was thinking about trying something exotic, maybe a dish that incorporates octopus in some way. I'm more of a down-home type of chef myself. What about something that, go with me here, walks on land? Actually, there are certain species of octopus that do leave the water. For instance, have you heard of the Abdopus? I can't even say it. It leaves the water to hunt for crab. An octopus that works upright and hunts crabs? Now I've heard everything. The world is truly a marvelous place, isn't it? Octopus, crab, it sounds like you're describing one of my signature dishes. Are you trying to steal my thunder? Boys, what's with all the hostility? Has the competition been moved up to today? How dare you try and muscle in on my culinary territory? Nobody better touch a cephalopod without going through me first. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Nobody's muscling in on any mollusk. We're simply discussing today's assignment. You could cut the tension in here with a chef's knife, which makes sense because chef's knives are usually pretty sharp. Look, we were just talking. I'm happily step back from any and all seafood. You know what? I'm just going to make mashed potatoes and gravy. I know my grandmother's recipe by heart. Keep the tentacles. You begin to peel and boil potatoes to try and extricate yourself from this thorny situation. But your new rivals aren't. I doubt that you even have the capabilities to work with ingredients so delicate. You should probably stick to microwavable dishes. I like my friend Van, though he may be the man. I have no doubts whatsoever about Colonel Sanders' ability to concoct creations worth admiration. After all, your fried chicken was quite spectacular. But Colonel, if you ask me, I might make a better partner for you than this thing that has positioned itself at your station. Don't you feel deep down that we cast complementary shadows? We fit together like a thigh and a drumstick. It just makes sense. Nothing about this makes any sense, but one thing is clear. She's coming for Colonel if you don't watch out. And if Chris and Van are both so inclined to the sea, perhaps they should go there together. Ashley, are you suggesting I share the secrets of my special saltwater sauce with this novice? I'm disappointed in all of you. Ashley, it's really going at you hard. You need to ask for some backup here before things get ugly. So you have to turn to Colonel Sanders, hunk of hunks in your time of need, or turn to Miriam, your forever bestie who always has your back. My bestie. You turn to Miriam. As soon as you find her, she senses it and looks back. This girl's friend in need radar is second to none. She immediately comes running over. Somebody threatening my friend, I will destroy them. I actually think that Ashley and Van were just leaving you in the dust via my skills as a chef perhaps. Stepping away from this competition, you are sorely mistaken. Miriam, you're a loyal friend, but Chris is my partner for today's activity. You look for Sprinkles in hopes he might step in, but he's nowhere to be found. Darn those cute corgis and their short but sturdy stature. You look down at your station and realise that, in the tension of the moment, your hands have been cooking on autopilot. Distracted by the drama, you've already crushed the boiled potatoes into a perfectly creamy mashed texture, with plenty of butter and cream for flavour. It's as if your natural passion guided you through the steps you know so well, while your attention was elsewhere. I know just what to do. Colonel Sanders extends his hand. He's holding a beautiful white porcelain gravy boat, out of which he pours a smooth brown gravy, smothering your nearly finished potato dish. Gravy flows down the mound of mashed potatoes. The results look spectacular. Granny would be very proud. Colonel Sanders holds a spork out to you. You reach out and grab hold of it, but he doesn't immediately let go. The two of you stand holding the same spork, and for that small moment, all of the madness and pressure in this crazy world stops. Your eyes lock. The moment is electric. Time stands still. If you love something, set it free. Together, you dig the utensil into the mashed potatoes and lift a heaping sporkful up. When you see Ashley with a sinister look, you know she's plotting against you to be with Colonel Sanders. And then, filled with rage, without thinking, you fling the sporkful of mashed potatoes right into Ashley's stupid, beautiful face. Van, do something, Scooping up a fingerful, Van tastes the dripping mashed potatoes and gravy and realizes that it's delicious. Horrified by this revelation, he slinks away. Will he ever be able to cook something with so much love and integrity? Hold on right there, Chris. We do not waste food in the broom cooking arena. Colonel Sanders, I expect better from you. If you throw one more spoonful, you'd both better be prepared to eat it from wherever it lands. Can I have potatoes, face? Van rushes back over, a covered dish in his hand. Mashed potatoes with gravy? Pathetic. In just a few minutes, I've prepared a full meal. Gaze upon my specialty, braised tentacle of octopus in my silky saltwater sauce, plated on a battle axe blade forged by my supreme chef ancestors. You've ignored me for too long. That ends now. It is I who will have first bite, and you will all look on it with envy. The interrupting student rushes at Van and swipes a bite of his signature dish right off the plate. No, don't! Something about this dish doesn't strike my nose quite right. I think the octopus was rushed and may have turned into the process. The results could be toxic. Too late, it has been eaten. I think I left something in the oven. I don't feel so good. It killed him! Everyone, step back. Don't take another bite. When you look back at the plate, the rest of it is gone. You notice the tip of the tentacle being slurped up in Pop's mouth. Pop winces in pain for just a moment, then is almost immediately back to his obvious self. Oblivious self. Oopsie. Tastes like poison. The entire class is gathered to watch Pop's final moments. Shock has frozen the whole crowd. They are as motionless as statues. The class bell rings, disrupting the moment and snapping everyone back to reality. It would appear that Pop's enthusiasm for trying new things, despite obvious danger, has inoculated him against the poisons of all kinds. I'm not sure the professor's here to make enough money. Hello? I just turned into a ghost over here. Seeing that you're shaken up by that really annoying student and all his nonsense, Colonel Sanders approaches you. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Please let me walk you home. What? Like for real? Oh, come on. You follow Colonel Sanders out of the room. At night, the school building has taken on another vibe entirely. It's dark and more than a little spooky. Colonel Sanders stands in the quad's neon glow and speaks softly. Those mashed potatoes you made in class today. Before you go on, I want you to know they're not a great representation of my skills. I didn't even realize I was making them. They were amazing. Tasting them, it reminded me why I became so passionate about food to begin with. Colonel Sanders is getting choked up. Cooking is obviously important to him in a way that you find inspiring. Now might be the perfect time to tell him you're developing feelings for him. Colonel Sanders? Yes, Chris? There's something I need to tell you. Hold it right there. There's something I need to tell you first. Oh, jeez. You see, when I was just a boy, I had a dream that one day I would be the greatest chef in the world has ever seen. And every day since, I have been working toward that dream, day and night, never stopping, never resting, also lifting a lot of weights, like so many weights. We should follow our dreams with all of our hearts. That's our souls may grant them, like wishes floating on a shooting star. Hey, no, you. Shut up. I'm the one here to say inspirational stuff and be the star of the story. Are we forgetting that your cooking literally killed a guy? You can't prove that. I also saw you kill that guy. What was his name? Somewhere in the distance you hear a long, sad sigh. Forget him. We're talking about me. Me. I'm the hero. Spork Monster. The Spork Monster is here to fight a hero. Van is in shock. I think I left the fridge door open. Later, nerds. We will not let harm come to another student, except for that ghost kid. I kinda dropped the ball on that one. Be afraid, be very afraid of me, because I am a monster, see? Is he rhyming on purpose, or is that just a coincidence? But before you can discuss syntax any further, it's a turn-based fight sequence. What will you do? Attack. You decide to go on the attack. Which attack will you use? Cook with Love. Cook with Love does 1 damage. It just got real. That attack really upsets the Sport Monster. Sport Monster goes on the attack. They spit hot gravy at you. You take 1 damage. You decide to defend. Which defense will you use? Trepidation. You continue to stay back and endure whatever comes your way. Seems like a pretty weird strategy, but okay, sure. You do you. Sport Monster focuses their mash mine and draws in energy from Mother Earth itself. They grow larger and more intimidating. How will you respond? With an attack. You decide to go on the attack. Which attack will you use? Cook with Love. Cook with Love does 1 damage. Sport Monster is no quitter. Buffed up and ready to rumble. They go on the attack once again. Sport Monster uses utilitensel. Utilitensel. You take 2 damage from the attack. If you take much more damage, you're not going to survive the battle. Attack again. You decide to go on the attack. Cook with Love. Does 1 damage. Sport Monster is oozing cheese sauce onto the lawn of the quad. I wonder who is going to have to clean that up. Feeling vulnerable, Sport Monster prepares for its ultimate attack. Rounded Edge. Vile villain, your reign of terror stops here. Colonel Sanders summons the energy of 1,000 chickens. Pot Pie Power Pinch. Pot Pie Power Pinch does 10 damage. Sport Monster is defeated. You saved me. An injured Sport Monster spews steam into the night. Let's see. You manage to tamp down your disgust at the sight of this gnarly beast long enough to realise that he's still a living creature with a pure soul who deserves your pity, not your wrath. Be gone, beast, and don't you dare come back for a follow-up encounter tomorrow. I won't forget this, and I certainly won't be back, like you said. The Sport Monster scuttles off into the night. The defeated monster left behind a special item. It appears to first be a cookbook, but upon closer inspection, it's so much more. It's a book of magic spells with a golden chicken on the cover. You open the cover and find a library card tucked inside. The last name to have signed it out is Borko. Borko, that name sounds strangely familiar. Your blood is pumping as you stand in the quiet of the night, holding the mysterious book in your hands. As you come down from your battle buzz, you realise that your final attack has left you completely depleted. The world around you begins to fade away. Without any energy to keep your eyes open, darkness overtakes you. The image of Colonel Sanders flashes before your eyes as you fall asleep. He must have helped you get home, in your tired state. You don't know if you could have made it without him. What a guy. You want to thank him, but you don't have the strength to utter a single word. You feel your covers being pulled up over you as you're tucked in tightly. Good night, my Colonel. In your dream, you're together with Colonel Sanders. For some reason, Sprinkles is also there, instructing your love. Dreams are weird. You awake on day 2 and attempt to process the wild visions you had. Were they memories or premonitions? You lie in bed and stare at the ceiling, thinking about the secret you discovered while tasting Colonel Sanders' cooking yesterday. You can't believe he really used... And then there was that secret ingredient that Colonel Sanders went ahead and told you outright. Not much of a secret, huh? It's probably just because he already trusts you so much. Sure, that makes sense. We'll go with that. You meet up with your bestie in front of the skull. Before you can tell her about the encounter with the Sport Monster, she launches into a story of her own. Okay, I know this might sound a little strange, but I think I might be, I might like Pop. Like? I know it sounds like it's moving too fast, but there's something about him. I like him. Like him. We got to talking after class, and he's actually a totally sweet guy. Not only that, but he's really smart. He told me all kinds of stories about Colonel Sanders. Did you know that Colonel Sanders enlisted in the army when he was only 3? Not only that, but he founded a special unit of super soldiers who all wear the same hat just because he put a hat on one time and they thought it looked cool. But Colonel Sanders doesn't even wear a hat, he wears a ribbon tie. Either way, maybe it'd be best if you took it slow with this new boy, like I am with Colonel Sanders. You and Colonel Sanders, the coolest guy in school, the most famous student to ever attend University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning. You're a thing now? We definitely connected yesterday. Haha, sure you did. You're great. Why wouldn't he be into you, I guess? Laughing at the implication that you and Colonel Sanders might be a thing is definitely not cool. You are great. You have an idea about how to prove that your love is real. Well, if he's not into me, why did he tell me one of his secret ingredients? However, you don't tell her that you know a second ingredient too, which you discovered on your own. Your bestie's eyes light up. A secret ingredient? Yeah, I just said that. A secret ingredient. Is there a dramatic echo in here? Miriam checks to make sure you're alone before continuing. So this summer, while I was on vacation with my family, a lovely man approached me in the botanical garden where I was wondering. This can't be good. He told me all about his passion for spices, secret spices. The man even gave me some to show me what he meant. He said it was a powder created from super duper rare dried flower petals, and that if I did him a big favour, I could have some my own. Please, Miriam, don't tell me. So I filled my suitcase with them and brought them home. He was so nice, he even met me at the gate when I arrived. Later, when I cooked with them, a very strange feeling came over me, and the flavour was unlike anything I've ever tasted. I think you're being very liberal with the meaning of spices here. Whatever, anyhow, we both share an interest in cooking, so we've stayed in touch, you know, like pen pals. I bet he would love to know more about the new spices. Well, I'm definitely not supposed to share Colonel Sanders' secret recipe, and besides, I only know the one ingredient, so I doubt I'd be much use to anyone. Please, 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 it would mean the world to me. No one has to know it came from you or from Colonel Sanders. What do you think? Should you protect Colonel Sanders' secret or share it with your bestie? Alright, let's make up a fake ingredient. You quickly think of a fake ingredient name. I don't know, how about... It was Eye of Newt. I know, it sounds like some kind of witch's potion, but what can you do? Eye of Newt? Wow! Her eyes light up imagining such a thing, and you figure that you've satisfied her curiosity and she'll move on. However, she immediately turns around and it's the same thumb typing on her phone that you can't quite see. That's probably not good. Before you can ask her to confirm that she was definitely not texting secrets to other people, you're interrupted. A wind rushes in, cherry blossom petals fill the air. It's Colonel Sanders, he's arriving at school. Alright, let's stand back and admire his majestic glory. Colonel Sanders' horse is truly a thing of beauty. Without ever acknowledging that he's being watched, he does a short horse dance before dismounting with a flourish. He then slaps the beautiful creature gently on its rear, sending it running free into the countryside. You're so struck by the sight of him that you lose the ability to speak coherently. Oh, I didn't realise anyone was watching. Don't worry, he knows his way home. You attempt to compliment Colonel Sanders, but the words don't come out exactly right. What a horseful beaut you have. I mean, what a horseful beaut you have. Dang it, that's what I just said. Being a good friend, Miriam attempts to cover for you. Oh, Chris just gets really nervous around people they like. What? This is not helping. I mean, they got food poisoning and were up all night. It was gruesome. You should have seen it. She gives you a wink and a smile, as if to say, situation handled. Can't blame a girl for trying. And with that, Colonel Sanders disappears into the school, leaving you and Miriam to follow. When you enter the classroom, you can see your two rivals, Ashley and Van Van, are doing something bad. By the way they're hiding, you know, it must be really bad. Like counterfeiting recipes bad, experimenting with restricted ingredients bad, summoning a demon bad. You try and get a peek over Van Van's hulking shoulders, but he sees you coming. Well there, little one. I'm not sure you're ready to handle this. Why don't you make like a bee and mind your own wax, honey? Act like you're not interested in them, but really try and get a closer look. You sit near the rivals, but leave your back turned to them. You even hear Van Van mutter something that sounds a bit like a magic spell. However, he noticed you eavesdropping. You try and cover your tracks and improvise an excuse. It's time for class, and you're distracting the rest of us, so he wants to learn. Now you've upset them. Oh, and you're the emperor of cooking, are you? You make the rules? I'm not sure you'd know a good meal if it ate you. Being the best chef in the world takes more than just culinary skills. It takes creativity, it takes panache. And it doesn't hurt to use a little evil. You finally get a look at what it was they were hiding, and you instantly recognize it. It's a book, just like the one you found after your encounter with the spork monster. That's the same book that I found last night in the quad. Ashley immediately elbows Van Van, who hides the book behind his back. I don't know what you're talking about. That book is a family heirloom, and its contents are secret. You notice that they haven't just been studying the book. They've got Pop pinned to the wall, and they're tossing potato skins at him as he tries to catch them in his mouth. We're playing. Before you can dig any further, you're interrupted by the arrival of more students. It's almost time for class. Beep, beep. Clank must be running late. He's in such a hurry that he rolls right over Van Van's meaty foot. Hey, watch it, you bucket of bolts. You watch how you talk to him. He didn't do anything. Bzz, womp. Who do you think you're talking to? I've never heard such language, not even from a stand mixer. Womp womp. No, your mother was a stand mixer. Van Van jumps to attack Clank, but Clank shots Van Van, sending him flying across the room. Protect me, Colonel Sanders. These crazed men are about to come to blows. I think it must be over me, but I'm not interested in either of them. Ashley's tone has completely changed in an instant. She bats her eyelashes at Colonel Sanders. Surely he must know that this is a ruse, right? Gentlemen, get a hold of yourselves. Save it for the arena, at least, or don't. Honestly, what do I care? I've got lofty career aspirations to focus on. Maybe I can help you with your business plan. Just then, Sprinkles arrives to signal the true start of the class day. He's panting, which doesn't seem that abnormal. He's a professor, but he's also a dog. Students, please take your seats. I apologize for my late arrival. I spent the morning chasing a car all around town, and my tiny legs are very, very tired. So it's alright for him to be late, but not all the other people. But I'm here now, and I hope you're ready to learn. Rub his furry dog belly, he loves it. After he catches his breath, Sprinkles regains control of the classroom. Without further ado, we'll review the global history of my favourite fowl, the chicken. You want to pay attention to the lesson, truly you do. Which is why in 1776, at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, it was a chicken who first signed their name. But you can't help but daydream about Colonel Sanders, and you miss most of the important parts. When you come to, Sprinkles is holding a tray of food in front of you. Well, Chris, naturally this appears to you to be a sample platter. Which item do you want to sample? Let's sample the glass of water. You grab the glass of water and gulp it down. It's cool and crisp, like the purest snow melted by a mountain spring. Hey, that was mine. It was from my favourite toilet. You owe me $6. And you've got excellent taste. You think to yourself, geez, I should pay better attention. We all make mistakes. I'm sure he'll forgive you someday. Come on, it's time for lunch. I drank his toilet water. Before anyone can relax, the cafeteria lights dim, and your rivals enter to make a dramatic announcement. Today's lunch will be prepared via timed competitive cook-off. The level of theatrics with these two is off the charts. Alright, demand that they stop wasting everyone's time. Is everything a competition with you two? Yes? Yes! Well, not with me. I'm on a personal journey to learn, to love. To learn to love. Sure, why not? But definitely not to constantly battle. Yeah, stop getting your genres crossed. Don't you have some portable monsters to capture or something? I need to eat if I'm going to have the energy to sustain my education and pursue my dreams of being a master chef. How are any of us supposed to get anywhere if we're constantly fending off challenges from every know-it-all with an apron? Besides, I already brought my own lunch. Chris, you should have it. It will give you the energy you need to succeed. Miriam reaches out and presents a gift to you. My special green chilies and tomato soup with chocolate milk to wash it down and a tartlet for dessert. It only takes you about 5 seconds to eat Miriam's tiny food, but it's just what you needed for motivation. You know what? I've learned enough for today. Let's battle. Just as things reach a boiling point, Sprinkle steps in. Surely he'll put a stop to this madness. Now, students, please settle down. This is a lunchroom, not a sportsing court. Finally, a little sense, you breathe a sigh of relief. At least not until we turn on the timer. Just then a huge light blasts you in the face, flashing the words, "Time already." That's what I'm talking about. Arroo! I stand corrected. If it's a battle you want, it's a battle you'll get. My bestie can best the best of them. Best believe it. Like a diamond, I was formed under pressure, and now is my chance to shine. I will defeat you myself. You had his chicken and you made mashed potatoes and gravy on day one, and you're feeling like you can really impress him again here. It's time to boil some water for the potatoes. Think fast, if the timer runs down, you'll be forced to pick randomly. What temperature does the water boil at? Probably wrong. That's right, but how would you have even gotten into this score without knowing that? Winner gets to rub my furry belly. Let that enticing offer motivate you. You're going to need to season this chicken before you cook it. You don't know Colonel Sanders' recipe exactly, but you have an idea. How many herbs and spices did he say he used? 11, we know that. That's right, you might not know all of the ingredients yet, but at least you're headed in the right direction. Tail wagging intensifies. Now that you've got some basic steps going, it's time to elevate your craft. What state of mind offers the most flavor? Gratitude? That's right, you must never take this opportunity for granted if you hope to succeed. Your classmates are rooting for you, but Ashley is simply stronger and faster than you. You better pick up the pace if you want to survive. When you were a child, your father told you to never forget where you came from. Every day you meditate on his advice and draw the energy from that place. Now would be a great time to harness that energy. So where does it come from? A small town where big dreams are born. That's right, this is your shot and you're not going to miss it. Arroo! You try and shut the noise of the arena and focus on your cooking. What is the sound of success? Silence. That's right, when they taste your cooking, they'll be so taken with it that they'll be unable to speak. You notice Colonel Sanders out of the corner of your eye. I believe in you, Chris. He's actually cheering you on, which would be awesome, except knowing he's watching you makes you totally forget what you were doing. Now all you can think about is Colonel Sanders. How many spoonfuls of gravy would it take to fill a traditional... didn't give me time to answer. Grrr. You're stranded on a desert island with only a desert cookbook. Which do you take? What a hunk. I know, right? You know what? Shouldn't you be focused on the challenge? You're falling behind. Sorry if I forgot the question. What does it have to do with crafting spectacular fried chicken and delicate biscuits? Woof, woof. You're really struggling to keep up. At the next station over, Ashley has already begun plating elements of her dish. It's colourful and complex. To make up time, you toss your biscuit dough into a stand mixer. As you do, the crowd gasps. Yikes. I need to breathe for a second. Let's try again. I know you love nothing more than seeing a fellow appliance utilised in the kitchen battle, but sometimes that means sacrificing the personal touch. Whirr. You might not even have any hands, but Chris does, and a good chef needs to be touching the dough to know when it's properly mixed. There's an easy way and a hard way. You don't get far by going the easy way. When you hear everyone talking, you realise how serious your error was. You immediately shove your hand into the mixer and rescue your dough before it's over-mixed. Chris, no! But you're not fast enough and your hand gets stuck. It's immediately crushed by the quickly spinning beaters. There's no way you'll be able to use that hand for the rest of the match. Colonel Sanders shakes his head in shame. What you often find is that the easy way can turn out much more difficult. Everyone, stop what you're doing right now. This battle is over. It can't be. I was so close to finishing my dish. Sweetheart, look at your hand. You simply can't go on. Oh, that's too bad. And here I am with a completed dish ready to serve. Surely that makes me the winner by default. No, it wouldn't be fair to compare the two on account of Chris's injury. You see Sprinkles begin to lick his doggy chops as he locks onto the dish. But I suppose you should at least tell us what you've prepared. Well, because I'm the sweetest, I skip straight to dessert. Under this white chocolate dome, you'll find a wide array of delights, taking you on a journey of flavour that tastes good and tells the story of excellence. I was going to ask Chris to do the honour, but since you're injured, I'm afraid that pouring this creamer of delicate hot chocolate sauce might be too difficult. Colonel Sanders, if you wouldn't mind lending me your strong, steady hand. Colonel Sanders pours the hot chocolate sauce on top of the dome, causing it to melt away, revealing the ingredients hidden within. Inside you'll find a delicate fried cheese croquette, atop a slice of honeycomb, ice cream 2 ways, tender nougat, and pearls of blueberry gelée. Colonel Sanders seems intrigued, but perhaps not impressed as he dips his finger in the chocolate sauce. Simplicity isn't your strong suit, is it, Ashley? Oh, you. As he places a sauce-covered finger into his lips, Ashley leans over and whispers something into his ear. A dab of sauce sticks to his mustache. Alright, put yourself between them. You reach out with your apron and wipe the sauce off his glistening face. Colonel Sanders recoils and brushes you back. This goatee isn't just a fashion statement, it's also functional. I was saving that flavour for later. Oh, what? Are you serious? Oh, well then. That didn't go well. I was just trying to be nice. Wait for it to load, see what we've got to skip. Hopefully not do the whole battle again. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Alright, let's step up and tell her we're on. A bit of lunchtime competition, eh? Count me in. If I have to wipe the tables with you fools before I set my lunch down, then so be it. I'm not the fool, you're the fool. Good one, Van Van. I like your gumption, Chris. I'll be watching your performance. Just as things reach a boiling point, Sprinkle steps in. Surely he'll put a stop to this madness. Alright, we've seen this bit. Alright. Let's try and get through the ones here. Oh god, there's nothing that you can really answer, so it goes to this, doesn't it? Alright. We skip. Let's skip. Alright. Just put it inside and let it go. Let him keep it on his goatee this time. Oh my god. Well, that's just a little bit no-win situation there. It's Colonel Sanders. He's probably here to tell you that he and Ashley are in love and they have decided to get married. And he won't even ask you to cater his wedding because you're a terrible chef and an awful person. You try and hide from him, but he approaches you directly. I know you're hurting right now. Not just from the devastating loss, but from that run-in with the mixer and that small fire. We should get that checked out. I'm fine, can't you just leave me alone? I'm a loser. I'm not fit to fill your fryer. I'll never be a master chef. Failure is a part of life, not just for you, but for all of us. Do you think I've never failed at anything before? That's exactly what I think. Well, then think again. I wasn't always the man you see before you. Enrolled in culinary school, incredibly handsome, successful, motivated. Well, handsome, sure, I was born that way. But I've walked other paths and arrived at dead ends. I was passionate about life, but I failed as an obstetrician. I was passionate about justice, but I failed as a lawyer. I didn't know. People see my delicate ribbon tie and my well-kept beard and assume that I've got it all together, which is true now, but it hasn't always been. Sounds like this guy could really use a hug. I resolved then that I was going to amount to something. No amount of hours, labour or money would deter me from giving the best I had to give. Stress sometimes to play that much. Keep going. As Colonel Sanders changes focus, you can see something ignite inside of him, a burning passion. One has to remember that every failure can be a stepping stone to something better. My new dream is pure, it's honest, it's something that a humble man in a crisp white suit can be proud of. I'll create a new chain of chicken restaurants that will bring joy to the entire world and make up for my past misdeeds. Yay! Just as your moment grows intimate, you're interrupted by a threatening, shadowy presence. Battle scarred from the night before, you prepare for the worst. Of course it's the sport monster. I should have just knocked him out. Borko! It is. I know I said I wouldn't be back, and after the whole fight to the death thing, maybe you don't really want to see me anymore, but I just wanted to say that I was wrong to attack you, and I apologize. I know what it's like having to always look over your shoulder. Monster problems, am I right? Oh, thanks, Borko. I'm glad there are no hard feelings. Getting jumped by a giant creature in the dark of night can really rile a person up. I also want to apologize for the way I switched right into attack mode. I know that you're strong, and cooking school can put a person under a lot of stress. I actually used to go to this school. I wasn't always a sport monster, you see. I don't believe it. You were a human once? Well, no, I was a golden retriever, but I was still a student, until one day some mean kids with magic spellbook cast a dark enchantment on me, and I was forever transformed. A magic spellbook? Precisely, I had procured a copy for myself, but somewhere along the way, I've lost it. If you find such a book, I beg of you, respect it. You're a powerful chef, and shouldn't rely on such dark and evil magic. No, you should be protecting the innocent from those who would cheat them through sorcery and guile. If you need me, don't fear, I will be there. It sounds like there are some bad cooks in the kitchen of life, Chris. Together I am sure we can defeat them. Come back to my hideaway and we can discuss? A personal invite. You can't imagine what Colonel Sanders' home must be like, but it sounds like you're about to find out. Stepping inside Sanders' home, surrounded by his things, you start to feel a special bond with him. It looks like you live such an exciting life, Colonel Sanders. Every day can be an adventure if you approach it with the right attitude. Long ago I made the decision to never stop searching, never stop working, never stop imagining. Have you been working on any new recipes of your own lately? I'm always excited to talk about food with another ambitious chef. Well, there is something. It's just a side dish that I've been tinkering with, trying to find the right balance of flavors and textures. I'm not sure I've nailed it yet, but I'm close. Colonel Sanders' eyes perk up as he starts to wonder what dish you might be describing. It's meant to pair with something spicy or something crispy. Both, perhaps? Now you've got him right where you want him. Should you reveal your new creation to him or keep it a secret, just for you? Actually, I've said too much. Please forget I ever said anything. You can practically hear Colonel Sanders' heart beating in his chest. He tries to act demure, and his facade begins to crack. I can appreciate a good secret, of course. In fact, I've got many, nearly a dozen in my fried chicken recipe alone. But I would hope that you could learn to trust me with yours. Well, I suppose you did share a secret ingredient with me yesterday, so it'd be only fair. Colonel Sanders' face grows serious. Ah yes, about that, you see. Yes, Colonel? I haven't been completely honest with you. The secret I told you was a fake. Oh no, the ingredient you shared with Miriam, it wasn't true? You're angry with Colonel Sanders for lying, but the fact that you revealed his secret shows that he was probably right to do so. I thought we lied about it. I have new. You mean it wasn't one of the real 11 secret herbs and spices? You see, we had only just met and I had to make sure that you were trustworthy and capable of keeping my most important secret. To me, my recipes are priceless. Well, I have something to confess. That secret ingredient you told me, I shared it with Miriam, my bestie. Unfortunately, I already knew this. I was very disappointed, but now that you've come clean, we can start building our relationship as fellow chefs again. I promise to be honest from here on out, I really do. I'm counting on you. Then in that case, I present to you my original coleslaw. The shredded cabbage disc glistens in the light of Colonel Sanders. Luke's hideaway. I'm terrible at this reading thing. Magnificent! Together you chow down on the creamy slaw until just a spoonful remains in the bowl. Do you mind if I hold on to the last bite? I'd like to have it around so that I can admire its taste later and think back on this moment. You could offer to make him more, but he seems like a very sentimental kind of guy. Sure, why not? Please make yourself comfortable. I'll be back in just a moment. You realize that now would be the perfect time to do some snooping. Around the room are various items that you can look closer at. Each item seems to radiate memories and emotions. Tap at an item to discover more about the Colonel. Alright, well, let's give it a go. This must be where he keeps the secret recipe. You think for a moment. What number is important to Colonel Sanders? Then it dawns on you. As soon as you turn the dial to 111111, the safe opens. Inside it you find a single note. Can chicken be prepared sashimi style? Tap on an item to discover more about the Colonel. An adorable little baby boy crawls across the floor. From the goatee and the mustache combo he sports, you figure this must be Colonel Sanders himself. That, or maybe it's the drumstick that he seems to be waving like a rattle. Who frames a baby picture of just themselves? Probably the same type of person who would make their own face the logo of the company they founded, am I right? Tap on an item to discover more about the Colonel. The photo appears to be Colonel Sanders, except it's an old man visiting the pyramids of Egypt. Maybe this is where he discovered one of his secret herbs and spices. Tap on an item to discover more about the Colonel. One of the framed photos shows an old man who looks a little bit like Colonel Sanders standing with a friend. They hold fried chicken drumsticks and appear to be cheersing them. You look closely and see it as a short inscription. I wonder who my friend Pete is. Alright, let's keep doing it. You take a closer look at the large urn sitting on a nearby pedestal. There's a plaque on it. It's dusty, but when you wipe it off, you can read the inscription. It says, "Here lie the ashes of all my past careers and business failures." Poor guy. Scented candle. You pick it up and try to identify the smell. Power tool? Freshly starched collar? Piece of wood floating in a lake? Summer of '69? No, it's one of the secret recipe ingredients. It's... A lock of silver hair is woven through the teeth of the comb. Upon further inspection, you realize that the hair therein isn't just a silvery in color, it's actually made of spun silver. You notice a very realistic stuffed chicken sitting on a corner table. When you pick it up, you realize it isn't just realistic, it's real. Taxidermy must have been important to Colonel Sanders when it was alive. A little note clipped to the chicken's foot reads, "The true state bird of the great state of Kentucky." Alright, let's cook this. Gaze out the window across the vast lake and mountain range beyond. Just then the ghost of Student pops up. Are you thinking about heading out into the world on a quest to avenge my death? Wait, what? I never even learned your name. Why would I avenge you? I could just tell you my name right now. It's... Can't you see I'm in the middle of something? You open the window and a crack and the ghost of Student is swept out with the breeze. Alright, let's tap on another item. The door here. You open the door to Colonel Sanders' closet and find a row of his signature white suits hanging in the den. You take one off its hangers and try it on. The jacket is a bit big for you, but it's soft and comfortable. You give yourself a deep hug, breathing in its scent. They say that home is where the heart is. Is this what they meant? Before you can look any further, you hear Colonel Sanders returning. He has a new dish that he has been working on, and he wants you to taste it. You try to act casual until he asks why you're wearing his jacket. Aww. I don't usually loan those out, but I must say, it does look good on you. Oh crap, the jacket. You forgot to take it off. Alright, so let's fess up and tell the truth. I think I've developed feelings for you. I'm not sure that my big chicken dreams have left any room in life for romance right now. Overwhelmed, you take off the jacket and run for the door. But the thought of leaving Colonel in the midst of such an emotional breakthrough gives you pause. You stop yourself. Colonel? Yes, Chris? I honestly think this may be the beginning of something wonderful. I think you're right, we should take things slow. You talk late into the night and drift off into a slumber. Well, here we go, another dream sequence. You awake to a beautiful morning in Colonel Sanders' hideaway. Did you make the right decision on how to respond to Colonel Sanders? Only time will truly tell. Today is a day that could change the rest of your life. You think about the new secret ingredient you just learned about. In some jurisdictions, it isn't even legal, but if the recipe is secret, how will they know? Your thoughts are interrupted when Colonel Sanders emerges into the room. He's holding a gorgeously plated breakfast, and your mouth waters at the sight of it. Here's a simple breakfast I just whipped up. It's meticulous. You taste Colonel Sanders' food and it takes you on a journey. When you return, he's waiting to ask you an important question. So, would you say that we're the perfect match? How presumptuous. My cuisine and your taste buds, that is. Such confidence, such grace. Could he be the world's greatest gift to cookery? Yeah, let's flatter him. You know, I think we might make a great team. A single tear begins to pull in the corner of his eye as he gazes out the window. And with the right business partner, I know I can't fail. Business partner? Could he be talking to you? It's all happening so quickly. Overcome with emotion and confused by your feelings, you're on the verge of tears, unable to speak. The only answer you can find is to run out the door and get home. There's still one more day of school after all. The University of Cooking School, Academy for Learning, waits for no one. You get home to find something very surprising. Your best friend is there waiting for you. Where have you been? Because I had one heck of a night. I've been desperate to talk to you about it, but I couldn't find you. I got worried that something had happened to you. It's okay, I was just... But now it turns out you're fine. I can finally get you up and speed on the saga of Miriam. Sure, but... You will not believe what happened to me after school yesterday. I went on a date. I think I can believe that. Since I'd been partnered up with Pop, he asked me to go out with him. Of course I told him, you'd better harness those wild horses, young man. I'm not that kind of girl. But he was just interested in spending some one-on-one time together and getting to know me. So I said, yeah, sure, I can get to know the little guy. Long story short, he took me to his favourite shush house, but things quickly spiraled out of control. Did she just say shush house? As if that's a thing people just say? What is that even referring to? And now I'm not really sure where we stand. You don't give Miriam time to tell her whole story, however. Bottling up the details to your own night is just too much to bear. And I went on a date too, back to Colonel Sanders' house, where I spent a night with him. You what? Nothing happened, but the emotional connection, wowzers. Alright. Miriam offers to support you no matter what you do, so you can click. Together with your bestie, you feel like you can do anything. When you arrive at school, you encounter your rivals in the quad. You can tell from a distance that they're picking on Pop, though he himself might not quite grasp that fact. Because, you know, he's Pop. What a swelly, it sounds delicious. Oh, it's great, I'll order you up one right away. I'll have myself a swirly with sparkles, please. Sprinkles is a dog and a treat. You can get your swirly dipped too. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? Because I'm literally the biggest person at this school. There is that horse that Colonel Sanders rides to school, but who would dare pick on such a gentle and beautiful creature? You've got some nerve, Chris, suggesting I pick on a defenseless horse. Now you're twisting my words, and I won't have it. You clench your fist, but the injury from yesterday's mixer accident makes you wince with pain. Doesn't look like you can go on cooking like that. Might as well just give up. I'll never give up, ever. Colonel Sanders arrives just as it appears things are close to boiling over. A naturally intuitive person, he senses that something has been going on. Is everyone excited for the final day of school? Chris, how's that hand feeling? I'm sure you'll be back in fighting form by this afternoon. Aren't you concerned about my hands, Colonel? Yesterday I almost broke a nail winning so hard. Technically, I don't believe a winner was decided, but your presentation was quite impressive. What is he doing complimenting her? But what about the flavour of my delicate, warm, gooey chocolate sauce? It was clear that you're passionate about how your food is received. That's a lot of words to say. It was bland. Excuse me, Chris? I am more than capable enough to speak for myself. Maybe you could tell me more of your thoughts as we walk into class, Colonel. I'm always interested in discussing the fine art of fine foods. See you inside, Chris. Annoyed by Colonel Sanders' inability to see Ashley for who you know she really is, you walk across the quad to get some distance. In an attempt to distract yourself from how slashed you feel by that interaction with Ashley, you take out the spellbook you recovered yesterday and start flipping through the pages. Whoa, that's a book? That book? It looks like bad news. It's just something I found lying around. It would appear to be some sort of grimoire, but I don't really believe in that magic stuff. A grimoire? Like a book of spells? I don't know. Who would spend so much time decorating a magic book if it weren't really powerful? I could think of one surefire way to find out. You open to a page covered with arcane warnings. Cast only in case of extreme emergency, it says around the edges of the page. I could use this spell here that says it will erase anyone. I chose from all of my memories. If I scrub out Colonel Sanders, it would probably help me focus better on the upcoming final exam. That is way drastic. Couldn't you do something else? Like anything else? Not rooted in dark magic? Maybe tie a string around your finger? Okay, fine, it is drastic, but desperate times call for desperate measures. You've got a memory erasing spell sitting right in front of you, and a pretty good excuse to try it out. Alright, let's cast the beginning spell. You begin to recite the spell, but you stumble on the words, and the only effect it seems to have is to make you forget it is you were doing. Oh right, after looking at the page again, it comes rushing back to you. You've got a memory erasing spell. Alright, let's try and cast it again. It's just going to keep going over and over. Alright, don't do it after all. You take your friend's advice and put the book away. It's almost time for class. Sprinkles is already in the room, waiting for the students to arrive. He clears his voice to make a quick announcement. I want you all to know I feel something of a doc moment coming on, but I assure you it's nothing to be afraid of. His cute little nose scrunches up and he begins to breathe quickly. Alright, let's see. Dogs would rather wait to see what happens. Let's feed him. You reach into your backpack and grab some homework from the last semester that you forgot to turn in. Sprinkles immediately goes for it and gobbles the sheet of paper like it's a piece of fresh chicken rawhide. I apologise for the outburst. I know it seems cliche, but not much in this world satisfies like ungraded work. My, Chris, were you studying something with cinnamon? I have been sitting in on a lecture series around the art of cake baking. How insightful. This actually brings up an important point. Thank you, Chris, for reminding me to dole out this indispensable piece of wisdom. You see? But before he can go any further, Miriam's love drama spills over into the class. Alright, Sprinkles in to interrupt the sound. Alright, I told you to save it for after class. But I miss you. We went on one date, Pop, and how can you miss me when I'm right here? Pop's voice quivers as he pleads his case to Miriam. Every time I blink, you go away again. That's a really cute thing to say. Miriam, what happened between you and Pop? I got her in trouble, and now she's mad at me. I didn't just get in trouble, I got yelled at by Pop's mother, who blames me for getting him banned from every museum we set foot in. Oh, so that's what you meant by shush house. Pop, we went on one date. We're over. And it meant so much to me that made this for you. Too hurt to go on arguing, Pop leaves his creation behind and runs out the room. Nothing like a loud public breakup to cast a pall over the final day of school. Well, that was unfortunate. But we mustn't be distracted from what lies ahead, the final competition showdown challenge exam. I'm still working on the title, but I think you get it. Test time approaches. See you all in the arena. But before you can think about your upcoming competition, there's a very beautiful soul nearby in need of a pep talk. Hey Miriam, are you okay? Okay, I'm so mad I could smash a tiny mug, spilling several droplets of hot cocoa all over the floor. How could he embarrass me in class like that, in front of everyone? A tiny cocoa is a delicious treasure, so you know that this breakup is no joke, even if the source of her frustration is such a silly boy. I know that you know this, but I'm going to say it out loud. You don't need anyone. Me and you, we're going to cruise through this final test and hit the carpool lane to Success City. Miriam brightens up, imagining the wind rushing through her short bangs, but she hesitates to embrace the feeling all the way. You're not going to saddle up on Colonel Sanders' stallion and ride off into the sunset without me. Of course not. Well, maybe, sorta, but I'm sure there's a pony out there with your name on it, and a ranch big enough for both of us and whoever else we want to bring along. If it's not Pop or Clank or anyone else you meet today, tomorrow, or this whole year, so what? You're a special person who shouldn't settle for the first someone to show a little interest anyhow. Miriam gives you a big hug and wipes the tears from her cheeks. I should really review my menu for today. I'm going to make a very special soup. And I bet that Professor Dog is gonna love it up. While you were pep talking Miriam, you completely missed lunch, but that's okay because you had a better idea of how to spend the time before your exam. You've decided to head to the arena early to practice a dish. This is it, the location of your final challenge, a test of will, a test of courage, a test of talent. And a chance to beat the pants off Van Van, the supposed man-man, and his eviler counterpart Ashley. As planned, you begin to run through the quick test of a recipe you've been working on, Chris's famous chicken pot pie. After practicing for months, making this dish comes second nature to you, and you're able to quickly get a fresh pot pie in the oven. But as soon as you do, your cram session is interrupted by Colonel Sanders. Chris, what are you doing here? There's still time before the final exam. Oh, just taking it all in. I'm big into Excuse me? Ugh. I'm big into visualizing success. I'm looking at my station, picturing victory. The pot pie has begun to bake, and smell is slowly filling the space around you. Visualizing, huh? That's too bad. I was hoping you were here cooking something delicious. You'd usually happily share your food with anyone who is hungry, but the last time you let Colonel Sanders get in your head, it cost you a cook-off. You decide that it's time to put your cooking above your romantic desires, but that decision gets hard to stick to when the oven timer goes off behind you. Did you hear that? Hear what? I distinctly heard a bell chime. Somebody must be training Sprinkles to do a trick. I bet his mouth is watering. Strange, I was going to say that my mouth was watering. Alas, I'll have to look somewhere else for something tasty to put in it. Smoke begins billowing out of the oven, filling the arena around you. Cough, yep, I guess you cough will. I'll leave you to it then. Happy visualizing. The disappointed Colonel Sanders leaves the arena. When the coast is clear, you finally open the oven to find your practice pie has been reduced to ash. Smells like lunch. Beat it, Pop. There's no time left. The final showdown is about to begin. Sprinkles lays down the ground rules. There are no rules, that is, except to cook with everything you've got. You step up for the cook-off of a lifetime. You decide that mac and cheese plus the pot pie you've been practicing are just the dish that will push you over the edge to victory. Meanwhile, both Van Van and Ashley are preparing wildly elaborate dishes, per their usual over-the-top selves. Miriam has her giant magnifying glass and several sets of tweezers. She's definitely prepared to go big going small. Colonel Sanders seems to be harnessing his 11 herbs and spices, but he's trying to find a way to improve on something perfect, his original recipe, fried chicken. The intensity in the room starts at full 10 out of 10, with a frenzy of action. Everyone is calling out really special cooking moves as they prepare their food. Wow, this is getting serious. Colonel Sanders batters his chicken as it levitates through the air. Egg wash! Miriam furiously injects ingredients into an itty-bitty pot of broth. Best friend, face the blaster. Van Van flexes his pectorals as he chops open a sea urchin. Let's rock and ride. Ashley scoots her pastries off the tray with lightning speed. Shallow personality spatula. Even Clank gets in on it. 5-dial pressure point chicken cooking technique. Wait, when did Clank learn to speak English? It's a singularity, as was foretold. We mustn't let it happen, or the appliance uprising will take us all. Van Van quickly unplugs Clank and rolls him out the back door of the arena. As you frantically prepare your dish, you notice Ashley has her spellbook out. Is she going to use some dark magic to turn the tide? You've got a book of your own, and you're desperate not to see her win another battle. Should you take this opportunity to fight magic with magic, even if it's almost certainly evil magic? Nah, let's do it the hard way, because sometimes that's the best way. Who needs magic when you've got passion? I'm going to do it the hard way. Colonel Sanders sees that you've chosen to win on your own terms, and he gives you a subtle wink from across the room. I believe in you, Chris. Miriam notices too.
Aww.
And I've always believed in you, Chris, since we were little kids, because I'm your best friend forever. You turn to notice that Miriam is at your station, cheering for you. Miriam, what about your dish? If you're here cheering, who is cooking? Tidy food, a short cook time. I'm actually already done, so I thought I'd help you. Oh, that's sweet, but... Miriam tosses a handful of spices directly into your boiling noodles.
Aha!
It's the secret ingredient. The boiling pot explodes, sending Miriam flying backwards. The watery noodles begin to swell in the air, bubbling up into a dark cloud that thickens and congeals before your very eyes. It is I, Steve, the spork monster. Steve? Wait, what happened to Borko? You're not here to battle me, are you? We sport monsters are many. I think Borko had the day off, but you have conjured Steve, and I hate to battle, so I'd say you're doing pretty alright. Oh, hey, you're in the middle of a cooking competition. I love this stuff. It's better than TV. You crazy kids and all your culinary skills really impress me. Mind if I hang out? I'm sorry, Steve, but I'm kind of in the middle of something. Do you mind? Steve the sport monster notices that you've got the grimoire stashed beneath your cooking station. I see what you're up to, crisscross some magical items and accidentally summoned me, huh? Ha, yeah, you guessed it, sorta. If you're here, would you mind tossing some fresh noodles in a pot of salted water? I'd love to. I've always wanted to be a top chef. Actually, you know, when I was just a little sport pup back in the old country. You can feel Sport Monster winding up to tell a very long and involved story. You don't know exactly where they came from, but it seems like it was probably lonely there. Actually, you know what? Maybe you should watch from the stands. I really need to focus on this competition. I understand. It's kind of that time monster school that I'd fallen asleep during scare tactics class, and when I woke up, he tossed a serious stare at Steve, and he takes the hint. Never mind, I'll tell you later. Good luck. Having suffered this huge setback, you don't know how you could ever win. Alright, let's summon extra power from deep down within myself. I can do this. I have what it takes. I came here to win. Your hair turns mac and cheese. Orange's culinary energy flows through your body. My heart is pure. My hands are steady. My taste buds have been preparing their entire lives for... Yes, Chris, you are the chosen one. You will avenge me. The power you've been summoning immediately fades back out. You interrupted my inspiring monologue. Sorry. My heart is pure, my hands are steady, my taste buds have been proven. Preparing their entire lives for this moment, I will show the world my cookery. You begin to levitate off the ground. Energy courses through your body. You know that with this power you can do anything. Except turn back time, which will be super useful because while you were powering up, your chicken pot pie overcooked in the oven and can't be served. But don't worry, dear Chris, you may have suffered some setbacks, but all is not lost. Impressed with your fortitude, Colonel Sanders decided you have earned his support. I've been watching you today, and I must say, I'm truly impressed. You've been thinking on your feet and rolling with the punches. He steps up to your station and stands right beside you. I'm here to help. All you've managed to make is mac and cheese, and time is almost up, so you're going to need it. But Colonel Sanders, what about the test? What will happen to you? What about the rules? Following the rules has never really been my thing. I follow my heart. What a guy. Colonel Sanders unfolds a delicate white towel to reveal the most delicious fried chicken tenders you've ever laid your eyes on. And besides, sometimes unexpected combinations can have surprising effects that surpass their individual efforts. Are you suggesting? If we combine forces, we can form the perfect food union. Time's up, students. With time expired, it's the moment everyone has been waiting for. You must now prepare to present your dishes. A handful of students stand tall, but the class seems incomplete. It seems we're missing some students. Pop, clank. From off-screen you hear a pure and innocent giggle that can only come from one student. Heh heh heh, I'm flying. It sounds like it's coming from that broom closet over there. Miriam, would you mind? Inside of the closet you see Pop, hanging on a broom hook by the elastic of his underpants. Pop, get down from there right now. Let me guess, did Van have something to do with this? When someone asks for a wedgie, who am I to refuse? I thought a wedgie was a salad. It looks like Pop is eliminated from the challenge, seeing how he didn't cook anything. I can't feel my legs. May I be excused? Sure. You kids and your pranks. I must say it's not the worst prank in UCSAL history, but it's not exactly yearbook material. Wait a second. Pranks, clank. Where did that pressure cooker roll off to? You wait to hear a signature word, beep or other onomatopoeia, but there's none. Somehow you must have gotten unplugged, I guess. We'll have to figure that out later. That leaves only 4 remaining students. Please collect your final projects. Yes, it has been a long semester. Wow, 3 whole days long. But after days of hard work, the time has come for me to eat. Miriam, please step forward. Now, describe your dish. I've made tender udon noodles in a savoury soup. My word, it's so delicate. Is that a teeny tiny Narutomaki I spy afloat in this itsy bitsy bowl? Yes, chef. Please, call me Sprinkles. Chef is my father's name. Yes, Sprinkles, and some green tea made from baby tea leaves that I picked myself. Sprinkles carefully sniffs around the dish before opening his mouth and letting just the tip of his pink dog tongue dip into the bowl. Sublime, would anyone else like a taste? Oh, come on, I'm not one of those dogs who doesn't floss. I even have a really cute electric toothbrush for dogs. Fine, I'll enjoy it all by myself. And in a flash, the entire meal has been devoured. Not that it took much, it was less than a thimble's worth of soup. A+, rarely do I taste a dish with as much love poured into it as yours. Miriam is overjoyed. She gives you a huge hug. Thank you, Chris, for helping me to believe in myself. Van, you're up. Now describe your dish. I made uni over smooth egg custard in an axe-hewn urchin shell, topped with caviar. Did you skewer one type of urchin with spines from a second, different coloured type of urchin? Yes, Sprinkles. A bit much, don't you think? That's exactly why I did it. A bit much is kind of my brand. Doesn't it look cool? Sprinkles leans in to sniff the uni, but he can't get his nose close on account of all the spikes. He begins to pour it erratically, causing the cluster to slosh around. Woof, woof! Please be gentle with my cuisine. Grrr. Finally, Sprinkles goes all in, tongue first, but he can't get past all the needles. He reels back as his tongue is poked and prodded. Ouch, my tongue! The professor appears to be having an allergic reaction to the sting. I can't eat this. It keeps poking my tongue. Disqualified. A stunning turn of events. Who would have thought that serving food in a bowl made of needles could make it difficult? Dejected, Van does not go gentle into the night. Disqualified for glamour. Don't discount sympathy. This isn't the last you've heard of me. Before forcing us to enjoy his swollen tongue for another moment, Sprinkles graciously laps up a bowl of milk. I know, yeah, I'm a dog and I drink milk. Get over it, sometimes it helps calm my agitated tongue. Next student, Ashley, it's time to step up. Now, describe your dish. I made orange blossom Turkish delight in a light rosewater syrup topped with French meringue and connected by sugar glass. That actually doesn't sound too bad. Indeed, it's quite delightful. However, I'd ask you that please refrain from eating it or attempting to taste it in any way. It's very fragile and meant to be a display piece. Don't eat the food at a cooking school? Got toast in your ears or something, Chris? I told you, it's a display piece. Ashley, I must say, it is beautiful. However, this is a cooking competition at a cooking school. Yeah, which is why I cooked it and did an extremely good job cooking it too. I didn't realise that we're having an eating exam. If I wanted to be judged on eating, I'd go to the College of Eating, School for the Hungry. I suppose you could smell it if you're absolutely insisted, but don't breathe too hard, you might disrupt the sugar spiral. If the food cannot be eaten, it cannot be judged. You are disqualified. Rage overtakes Ashley and she finally cannot keep her two-faced routine up. You wouldn't know high-end cuisine if it cooked you. And with that, Ashley storms off to rededicate herself to being the best, but this time without being shackled by trying to be fake nice and liked by everyone. This isn't the last you've heard of me, either. If this class gets much smaller, I'll be teaching myself. You and Colonel Sanders, the final cooks, step up together. 2 chefs? What began as a bowl of delicious mac and cheese has become something else. He examines it closely, sniffing and eyeing the bowl. Uh-oh, I don't have a good feeling about this. From somewhere in the room, a literal drum roll plays. Just when I thought I've seen everything in this kitchen, you give me this thing, and completely blow me away. In my 49 dog years of life, I have never tasted anything so delicious and perfectly balanced. It's so delicious, in fact, that everyone passes the class. You pass, and you pass, and you get a pass. Everyone gathers around and partakes of the mac and cheese bowl. They all seem to transcend this reality into another dimension. You win. Together, you and Colonel Sanders have made a new menu item. The new menu item is so impressive, even the Van and Ashley are drawn back by its magnetic fragrance. When they gaze upon your mac and cheese bowl, they admit that you are indeed an excellent chef. Sprinkles declare that you have passed. Everyone has passed. There were supposed to be more battles, but come on, how could they be better than this one? Now that the school year is complete and everyone has graduated, the students return for one last assignment, to get their groove on. The cafeteria has been completely redecorated in order to serve as the site of the school's graduation dance. Compared to the massive high-tech cooking arena, the humble decor seems downright cute and cozy. DJ Dog is in the house. You knew that Sprinkles was a master chef, but also a well-renowned turntablist. Who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Van and Ashley tell everyone that they've committed themselves to righting the wrongs they did while they were the villains. For a moment, you actually believe them. Not another haunting. No ghosts allowed at graduation is clearly written in the school's bylaws. I was never actually a ghost. It was all a trick to get you to finally notice me. Oh, amusing. And now that everyone is together, it's the Spork Monster. He has totally mellowed out. Everyone, the Spork Monster is no more. From here out, I'd prefer that everyone refer to me by my new name, Party Monster. Student tries to finish what he had to say, but everyone is too wrapped up talking to Spork. Sorry, Party Monster. Dejected student walks off. Maybe things didn't work out for Miriam romantically, but she found the love in her cooking, and you know she's gonna do great. A red carpet rolls out across the floor of the ballroom. It's like a Hollywood movie premiere. Who could command such an entrance? It's Pop. He's arrived late to the dance, but apparently for good reason. Walking the carpet, you see perched atop his dirty chef's hat, a crown. Welcome back, Pop. I know you weren't able to complete the final exam and accept your diploma, so we had it mailed directly to your father. We figured that it was the least we could do for the school's steam. Oh, now I get it. And we get a new wing on the school, not much to mention the honour of educating the son of the Chancellor of such and such. Miriam, will you be my Lady King? What an incredible turn of events, and offered to join the royal family. It's like a dream come true. You'll get to be a princess, or maybe a queen. I'm not sure if he even knows, but either way, crowns and gowns, baby. I'm sorry, Pop, but I'm not interested. Not now, at least. I've got so much to do with my life. A twist on a twist. So many more 3-day universities to attend. So many tiny foos to meticulously sculpt and then watch get accidentally blown away by a single sneeze. Okie dokie. The music at the dance is interrupted by the sound of sparking and electrical hissing. It's Clank, who has arrived late to the dance. Now that I have graduated, I can reveal my truth. Whoa, he's still doing the talking thing. I am Clank, and I am not of this earth. I am actually from a faraway planet in another dimension. What? What? I actually feel like I knew it this whole time. Now I have learned the ways of your kind, I must return. A portal opens up, Clank disappears through it. Finally, Colonel Sanders arrives. Howdy, classmates. Just like the first day you met him, he has come prepared to feed the entire class. However, it's not enough to just give them a bucket of chicken. This time it's a full meal. I didn't get to be the most famous chicken man in the history of chicken and man by not reminding people to go out and buy my chicken. The end? No, it's not the end. As everyone feasts on their delicious chicken dinner, Colonel Sanders spies you at the edge of the dance floor. Chris, what are you doing sitting all alone? Oh, you know, just waiting for the right person to ask me to dance. I wonder, might you tell me, what are the qualities that you would expect to find in such a lucky person? Off the top of my head, I don't know, a spicy musk, a tidy goatee, and a degree from the University of Cooking School Academy for Learning, just to name a few. It truly is my lucky day. Would you dance with me? Yes, I would love to. As you glide across the dance floor, hand in hand with Colonel Sanders, the future stretches out in front of you. And once my 100th franchise is up and running, I'll be ready to take a day off, and I'll be so glad to spend it together with you, Chris. How sweet, we'll work together and play together. Colonel Sanders stops dead in his tracks. Work together? Well, I think this is something I'll just need to do by myself. But who will help you run your restaurants? I don't believe I need help. Besides, based on your time at school here, do you really think running restaurants is the best path forward? Could it be you found a love connection but failed to earn Colonel Sanders' respect as a chef? Can you live with only half of him? Will you be able to enjoy sharing him with his other love, the life of an entrepreneur? I suppose I could enroll at pastry school. Oh, my dear Chris, I'm sure that you'll find your place eventually. And along the way, you'll have me by your side. The end. Oh. Yeah, I didn't find it thrilling. Did you? I feel like I did a lot of talking. I pushed through my dizziness, and now I feel like I have a headache coming on. Don't need to watch this. Yeah, lucky it was free. That's all I've got to say.